in our world, we are presented with many problems. Albert Einstein gave great advice in this matter. He said, problems cannot be solved by the level of knowledge or awareness that created them. In other words, we have to get outside of our box. A mystic sees beyond the box to what has been hidden or forgotten. My name is Sharon Raji Maynard. It was curiosity that took me on a radical search for answers. And those answers came from ancient ones in spiritual worlds beyond Earth. Their knowledge foundations this podcast. Come as you are. We will see situations through my eyes as a mystic as we sit together. Diversity is a natural condition within humanity, and hearing diverse ideas expands our capacities. So listen to a Mystic's View podcast to hear, to be enhanced, and to consider other possibilities. I welcome you to this weekly journey, so thanks for coming along. Hi, Mystic View followers. It's been a little bit of time since I did a podcast, and this one is one I'm just going to wing without being scripted to see how it goes. And the reason I'm doing that is because of the situation in our country today with our teenagers standing up to the powers that be that says and are saying never again. We are all applauding them. We're getting a lot of feedback on social media. They're getting a lot of support, and they're getting also some pushback. That is one reason that I'm going to wing this conversation. The motivation for it, however, was a session that I did with a client this morning who came to me because of some intense physical problems she was having in moving her life forward, in her body being stable, etc. And of course, in mystic work, shaman work, you're going to look for what is behind the cause. You're going to look for what is the cause behind the manifested forms. So in that work, I always go into that energy field and say to the energy field of the pain, of the sabotage, of the wall hitting, who knows why these manifestations are occurring? And if I sit quietly and go to a region deeply enough, I will hear, I do. And I don't care if the story necessarily is the truth, or if it's a story that's just going to help us unweave and transform, heal the energy knots, because that's the goal. So the story that I was given was that there is the need to fight. I need to hold firm. I need to keep things out. And therefore, in the keeping bad things out, everything's kept out. In the rigidity of standing firm, there is not the flexibility for a vibrant body. So I appreciate that the need to stand firm, to protect in order to survive is certainly part of the human psyche, part of the female psyche, part of the male psyche. So I listen and I applaud the efforts and say, for right now, in this moment of time, I want you to just relax. We'll freeze frame the situation so you do not have to be on guard, because I want to go back even farther. What is the cause that you need to be on guard? And this is where the shaman and the mystic journey will always take me. So going back in time, generations of time, I come to the pyramids. So clearly we're in Egypt. It's an Egyptian pyramid. And there is a young girl who is in that area, having been chosen to be a human sacrifice. And although initially it seemed like quite an honor, family felt it was quite an honor, she begins to experience what that really means to her, to the pain in her body. And in that moment, that freezing energy, that standing firm energy, make it through energy, because there are so many things that are unsafe, places and people you can't trust, that she holds firm, must hold firm, must get through this, and of course takes that into her death. But in that choice of must hold firm, no safety, can't trust, it has set an imprint in place that went with her lifetime after lifetime, and now showing up in our present day. Physical pain, unable to bring together the things that make life vibrant, etc. So how do we then transform and heal those blocks? Again, mystic journey, you go back farther in time before she was chosen. And you see her and the other children in the village, because it's now a village where they are. Beautiful children, loving children, laughing children, being empowered. Everyone living in balance and harmony. But we know, because one of those children have been taken from that village to be a sacrifice, we know that something is coming that was going to bring harm to that child. We call together the mothers, and we say to these mothers, you are doing amazing things for your children. The culture, the environment, all that you have in place, they are thriving and they're beautiful, and we want to applaud you on that. But here's something we in the future have a knowledge of that we are bringing to you. And that is that there are beings of deceit in the humanity life stream. There are beings whose agenda is to dominate, to control, to use, and they will use deceit in order to entrap. You will sense their presence as an energy of offness, something's just off. That's how you first feel that something doesn't seem right. And when that happens, you call us. We're going to be here observing, and as soon as that happens, you call us women who have come from the future, and we will take you to another level. And we let them go, and they go about their business. They're watching their children, and then one of the mothers feels an energy that is off. Something isn't quite right. She remembers our words. She calls the other mothers together. They invite us from the future into their circle, and we say to them, this is the energy of those beings whose agenda will be to control or dominate. That's what you're feeling. You're feeling their energy before they come into your village. If you progress with this energy, they will deceive you, they'll cause confusions, they will take away some of your children, and those children will be harmed. So, is that what you want? And of course, they say no. Then we say, okay, trust the energy of off as a signal that something is coming that is dangerous. We gather them into a circle and we say, women, you have the right to speak as authorities for your family, for your village, for your home, for yourself. That this off energy has no authority, no right, unless it confuses you, unless it engages you in violence and fight. All you have to do is remember, stay clear. Your sense of what you want for your children is, this energy is not acceptable. No. And we hold that circle space with them, directing and broadcasting to the energy and to spiritual teams who can remove those energies back to their homes of origin. We hold space with them until everything rebalances. The energy of deception, damage, invasion is gone. It never happened in this storyline. The children continue to grow, to be magnificent, to feel their power, to create new. And then we can come forward to that aspect within my client's energy field and say, you're released of that old job. There is a better way. Women have stepped up and recognized their ability to sense energy that is not beneficial to those that they love. They have stepped up into that place and role of authority that says, not in our space, not in our village, our home, our country, our world. And by speaking those words, they call in all the power of heaven and beyond to remove those energies. So thank you, and we let you go into the light. That is what transforms the health of my client. So now I'm looking at these young people who are extremely creative, extremely valiant, who are standing firm, and recognize that those beings whose agenda is to dominate, to control, to use, are still amongst us. And they will speak in ways, act in ways to create that energy of doubt, that energy of confusion, that energy that is off. You watch for it. You will see it's already beginning to happen. To distrust these kids, distrust their ability, to distrust yourself. Women, mothers, grandmothers, sisters, aunts, this is the time for you to understand you are the voice of authority to the heavens. To the heavens. And it is way beyond God. It is way beyond one individual in the heaven. It is massive, immense teams in the spiritual worlds who are ready to come in and move the energy of deception, control, domination, confusion, divisiveness, to move that energy back to their homes of origin. They do not belong here. They have no right to be here. And the command is simply not acceptable. So I hope that you take this seriously. I have a link with this podcast to a booklet that might help. You're welcome to ask and send for that. And I hope this flying blindly without a script is going to work for you. Blessings.